Welcome to Professional Development Day. We hope that you guys enjoy what you're about to learn and have a great Friday. When we think of teaching back before in the past, we might think of this black and white photo where students are sitting in rows, everyone has the same book and learning the same thing. When we look at teaching that we did last year, we know that we had more small groups, differentiated instruction, and we invited students into our classroom, taught them different ways and styles just based on their individual needs. This year, however, things have changed. We have to mesh what we know from the past. We have to mesh what we know from the past with what we did last year, incorporating things like guided reading, guided math, and making sure that we're providing a universal design for learning for all students. But how in the world are we supposed to do that?
So one thing we're teaching our kids to be is using our model Mustang of being innovative, resilient, collaborative, global, and empowered. And all of these things are preparing them for not only this time, but to be lifelong learners. So if these are the things we're focusing on now with our model Mustang, why can't we be doing this in our classroom? So if we think about what we have learned so far with all of our synchronous learning and our asynchronous learning, how do we really unlock their learning and empower our students to do these things to be independent learners? Some of the asynchronous learning activities that you have done in your classroom during remote 1.0, 2.0, when we're in blended, is engaging in online discussions, watching videos, practicing things like Lexia and Think Central, things like that. But now we have to take this and be able to incorporate this to any setting that we are going to be teaching our kids.
And I think we want to start by saying how many great things that we've already seen in the classroom. Platforms and applications that you guys have tested the waters with and started utilizing in the classroom. And again, just like Mrs. Penny said, in Remote 2.0, in our classroom in a blended learning setting, in-person learning, things like Pear Deck and Jamboard that offer some self-paced instruction, things like Jamboard and Padlet that allow collaboration with our kids, assessment tools such as Kahoot and Gimkit and Quizzes. All of these applications that promote those competencies, the IIP competencies that were addressed before. And again, we need to celebrate the things that we've implemented and where we've pushed ourselves to integrate new technology into our classroom. However, as we move forward, we ask, what role does our teacher-led video-based instruction play in their classroom? Again, we're being asked to record videos, whether they're pre-recorded videos or recordings of our live instruction, and what are those being used for? First and foremost, the goal with recording videos is to expose students to new content. Whether kids are at home in quarantine or are just staying home because they have a cold or a runny nose, how can we continue new learning and put our emphasis and focus on our students? So what are we exposing our students to? Power standards. And those are the power standards that you guys have developed through our grade level meetings, our teacher-led mini lessons, and those I do portions where it's new content and new concepts, and we're showing kids through direct instruction what we want them to know. We also look at for those students who are in person, how can I provide them with opportunities to review and revisit the content that was presented in the classroom? Oftentimes, especially in math, we hear parents say, man, I had no clue how your teacher is telling you how to do this math problem. Well, if we give them an opportunity to revisit and review the content, we're giving our kids the chance to always have access to our instruction, and you guys are the experts in the classroom. And lastly, as kind of has been shared throughout, is we are empowering our students to own their learning. And again, if they have access to content and they have access to the instruction, they can own and be empowered to take ownership of their learning and the activities that they do in the classroom each and every day.
So now the question is, when do we pre-record and when are we recording live instruction? So pre-recording could be those power standards that we've been focusing on so much for the last couple of months. So lessons that we know are really critical for students to know, and other lessons that we need to expose students to new content, and also front-loading and building that background knowledge that students can access and view at any time. Live recordings might be a little bit different. It might be those mini lessons that that occur in the classroom to clarify or reteach. It's those lessons that students can model the different ways that they're thinking, and also any classroom experiences or activities that can't really be replicated in a pre-recorded video. That's when you would do a live recording. So for the agenda for the rest of the day, from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, this is the overview and options for recording. This is where you're going to report to your designated locations. I believe K1 and 2 are going to Chapman Elementary, and 3, 4, 5, and Encore are going to Muraski Elementary. There, you can either watch this presentation now, or you're probably watching it at home at night. Who knows? But you can watch it then. The principals, we will be around to the grade level groups starting around 9 o'clock. And during those breakouts, we need to, from 9 o'clock to 9:30, we are going to prioritize power learning standards through week 12 and to the end of the trimester 1. During that time, identify those standards, substandards, and concepts that require a video option. Like we said earlier, when are we going to pre-record when are we pre-recording those lessons? We need to focus on those power standards, right? And we can update our curriculum maps. Then you go to lunch, and then from 12:30 to 4 o'clock, you're going to go to your home-based TBTs for collaborative planning and time to record videos for standards that we have identified. So I want to thank you guys very much for your attention this morning. We wish you luck, and if you guys need any help, we're there for you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.